Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Veil Background Information. We're doing the video about culture this time, and I should remind you that anything related to the culture aspect is just within my fictional universe of Beyond the Veil. It's nothing to do with anyone else's universe or anyone else's stories. It's just something that I have in my world for you to learn about. As always with the cultural things, we'll do a quick little quote to introduce the area and then we'll talk about it. And this time we're doing the underwater realm. Okay, let's get into it. You've never travelled to that place. Well, I suppose most people refer to it as Atlantis, so it does seem strange to think it's the exact same sort of place, but you should travel there. You should travel there, it's great. I particularly loved hanging out with the Naga in Cambodia there. You'd be surprised the information they can give you about the world beyond. Quote from the English Poison. From the stories of Atlantis to the underwater cities of the Naga, the mermaid kingdoms, and the kingdom made of coral by a Japanese dragon, there's always been an assumption that the sea can hold another realm. Not just the sea, but some rivers can seem so deep that strange beings could be under there, dragging you down to a new world like Hylas to the water nymphs, and in the Vale, this kind of place is indeed real. On the whole, it's called the Underwater Realm, and some just refer to it as Atlantis, but it was once known as the realm of Namu, after the primeval goddess of water, but the most preferred name for it is Kalunga, meaning threshold between worlds, in Kikongo, from their belief the Kalunga line being a watery boundary between the realm of the living and dead, and with most of the largest kingdoms being around the Atlantic or off the coast of Africa and within the Congo region itself. As the majority of representation for this realm come from African delegates, the name is more welcomed and encouraged as an appropriate title, but each region has its specific names, of course. So what is the underwater realm? Well, long before the actual creation of the Veil, demons like Tiamat and Leviathan took claim of the waterways of the world where humans could not live and were enjoying rather calm and quiet lives. They were not being problematic to humanity until they began to sail, and even then, many of the humans were respectful and understanding that they held no ability to control the waves and the waterways. If they fell in, their lives were forfeit, and in general there was a strong sense of balance between them, but then the flood was needed. At this time, some of the sacred freshwater regions were likely to be lost, and so the angels came to the serpents that lived in these regions and gave them powers and abilities to create shielded realms around the waters to stop them from being swallowed by the flood. These beings were the Naga. But there were other beings that were given this duty too, and so they created kingdoms beneath the waters that were to come to keep their homeland safe and always protected from humanity. When the flood came, many of these beings pitied the humans that had kept the balance and were doomed to die, and so brought them into their realm. Sadly, these humans were never permitted to step back to their homes and families, but remained living the lives of devoted servants to these beings. Some of these beings even paired with the mermaid types, and the human forms their rescuers took, developed true kingdoms and worlds beneath the waterways. Of these places, Atlantis was the most well known because, though it had been covered in the flood, its position in the Atlantic and off the coast of Africa made it a hub for Veil beings travelling that way, and soon the beings within these kingdoms could mingle together and move in and out of the Veil, hence the Atlantis name was often given. But when the Veil began to be dominated by the vampires, the Naga were the ones to stand firm and insist that they would not permit their kind to come to their realm and would certainly never bow to them. This meant that once more the underwater realms were able to close off from the Veil much more until the humans began to violate their waters with intensive fishing, bailing, underwater exploration, but more importantly, warring with each other. It was at this time that the various regions came together through a sacred water portal to the Congo basin and together agreed to link back to the Veil and to have its protection extended to their regions. They were thankful for this, and though they often stick to their own cities now, there is a lot of trading and media going through the regions, and they have their own governments and representatives with diplomats sent to different parts of the Veil when needed. The underwater realm lives well and does not have half the problems of the rest of the Veil, but lately they have had to rely on the technology of the Veil more as human damage beyond the Veil to the coral and waters has been harming their fish populations. Some have managed to find that humans developing marine reserves are also helping keep them safe, and they are hoping the Veil governments will start doing the same in their waters or encouraging those beyond to do the same. Final comments. I love thinking about the Water Realm. It's more mysterious and has much more options for interesting stories than the Vale does at times. But I'll be thinking about it more before I develop a story for it, and not just mentions of. Thank you. Bye.